Greetings. It's Miss Najia. I'm the founder of Heart and Soul Goals, a place where ambitious women can learn to balance their ambition with their sacred self-care. So I help spiritual women and Black women leaders that are overwhelmed, and I help them make themselves a priority so that self-love can become a lifestyle that allows them to make a greater contribution to the world. So I'm so grateful to be here with you today. I'm just grateful in general. I'm expressing so much gratitude just for being healthy and well and vibrant and thriving, because there's so many people that are just struggling right now, that are not doing well. So I'm absolutely grateful for this time, and I'm excited about this new year that we're going into. Now, personally, for me, when it comes to the new year, I'm not someone who really gets super excited for the new year, because for me it's always just a continuation of everything that I've already been doing. But what does make it exciting for me is it's just a really great time to just sit back and kind of reflect, and just to think about like what I've done well and how I've grown, and what I really enjoy for the past year, and what I want to look forward to for the next year. So I want to share with you some really interesting things that you may want to consider when it comes to creating the perfect sacred self-care wellness plan for you. Now, if you are an ambitious woman, a dynamic person, someone who is very intentional about the way that you live your life, I know you probably already have a couple of goals and intentions that you're setting for this new year. But I want to encourage you to start incorporating aspects of your wellness into the other goals that you're setting for yourself. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you may want to take into consideration as you consider your wellness for 2022. Now, a lot of people really tend to leave wellness out when it comes to their goals and their intentions. But one of the reasons why it's so important is because if you look at any aspect of your life, whether it's your business, whether it's relationships, whatever it is, I'm pretty sure that there's some aspect of that part of your life that is also related to your wellness or can be enhanced by your wellness. So personally, when I sit down and look at, what I want to manifest for the new year, again, it's always about like just kind of stepping back and reflecting and celebrating what I did well, and then looking at what I really want to move into and the kind of person that I want to become, and just getting excited about that whole entire process. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that you may want to consider when creating your own sacred self-care wellness plan. Now, the concept of a sacred self-care plan is something I really created myself. It's something that I use with my clients in my business. And it's something that's really key, because quite often when it comes to wellness, and especially self-care, it's so easy to kind of just throw your health and wellness to the wayside. Because with self-care, it's so abstract. You have mental self-care, you have physical self-care, you have, self-care in relationships. Self-care can mean so many different things, to so many different people. And it's really all relative to your lifestyle and the kind of person that you are. So when you create a self-care wellness plan, it helps you to really get intentional about everything that you're doing, because anything that you want to manifest in your life, and I'm sure you know this if you're successful in other areas of your life, anything that you're wanting to manifest in other areas of your life is going to require you to be intentional. So of course you want to do the same thing when it comes to your wellness. And I want you to get excited. I want you to get inspired. I want you to really look forward to just being a vibrant, energized person who is just out here fulfilling your purpose and really just enjoying life. I want you to move through life with joy and excitement. There's a lot going on in the world right now with this virus and this pandemic. And so it's so easy to really get caught up, just being filled with fear and being filled with anxiety. So this wellness plan is really going to help you to become a more confident person in 2022. So first thing that you want to consider is what have you been doing well? Like, look back at 2021 and ask yourself, what went really well for you in 2021? For me, it was really all about learning how to surrendering to spirit more, because I have a tendency to kind of overwork when it comes to, business or work that I'm doing. And this year really helped me to learn how to just take breaks and relax and surrender to spirit and not get so stuck on, doing things a certain way or doing a certain amount of work. And I will say that, it definitely wasn't easy, because it prolonged a lot of my projects and my process, but it helped me to be healthier in the process, to be more relaxed, to be able to enjoy the journey, so that I'm not just out here hustling and grinding and doing work and not really being able to enjoy the whole process. So what went well for you in 2021? You want to take time to really congratulate yourself on that, celebrate that. And it doesn't matter how small it is. It could be something like, you drank more water every day. Maybe you were just more health conscious in general. Maybe you were much more educated than you've ever been as it relates to wellness. It could have been that you were able to maintain your peace of mind throughout this entire pandemic. It could have been anything. Did you set more boundaries? Did you do well with relationships? Did you let go of some toxic people? What went well for you in 2021? And what do you want to continue doing that you did really well in 2021? So you definitely want to celebrate those things. You want to get excited about those things. Never underestimate the small things, because they absolutely make a big difference. So that's where I would start with creating your sacred self-care wellness plan. Okay, so what's next? So the next thing that you want to ask yourself is, where do you struggle the most? Now, this is really, really key, because quite often when it comes to wellness, we can be on the verge of breakdown and burnout, and we're just not even paying attention to it. And when you don't take the time to kind of step back and just reflect and, tune into your inner wisdom and your body wisdom, you can this is really quite often how people manifest diseases. So you want to pay attention to, where did you struggle the most in 2021? And where do you continue to struggle? Is it, struggles with your diet and eating well? Is it struggles with, the triggers that come up for you, or your emotional well-being, or your stress and your burnout? Where are you struggling the most? Because that's probably the area where you want to start looking for the most support, so that you can start shifting things and you can start finding a little bit more balance in that area of your life. So that's what I would look at next. And then, where is the area, or what is the area that you would say that you need help the most? So where you struggle the most is kind of like the aspect of your wellness that can be the most challenging. But where do you need help the most? They're probably related, but there are some things that, of course, we can handle on our own, whether it's through the process of maybe taking breaks and slowing down. And then there's some things that we know that can be a little bit more challenging, where you may need to call in a therapist or a coach, or maybe accountability group, or some other group of people that can, support you in that journey. So what's the area where you know that you need help the most, which is usually an area where you want to call in some other people in your life? Those are some things to consider as well. And I know for me, it's definitely the area of emotional wellness. That's the area for me where I always need a lot of support, so there are a lot of things that I can do on my own very well, whether it's through taking a course or reading a book. But when it comes to emotional wellness for me, I like to have, like a therapist or like a support group or some kind of outlet. It's just an area where I know that I usually need a lot of support. So that's something that you definitely want to consider. And then what I would ask you is, what are one of the life goals that you are really looking forward to the most this year, and how is your health going to impact that? So are you starting a business? Are you, moving into maybe the dating realm? Are you, in the process of maybe taking on a new position? Everything that you're wanting to manifest in this upcoming year is going to be somehow related to your health and wellness. And what are some aspects of that new goal or intention that you may want to, you may need some help. If you know that you're moving into a new business or being an entrepreneur, do you have a tendency to overwork and experience a lot of burnout? If you're preparing for a new relationship, are you in a position where maybe you need some support with your emotions or your inner child work? Whatever it is, there's always going to be some aspect of your wellness that is related to that. And keep in mind that these are just things that you can consider. When you sit down and just kind of reflect and just kind of meditate on these things over time, you'll be able to look at everything and see, okay, well, this is the area that I kind of want to focus in on. Oh, this is the area that I'm going to really want to take, more responsibility for, because maybe I've been allowing it to fall to the wayside. So you don't have to do all of these things, but these are just, questions that when you start asking yourself, it's going to just allow you to kind of get your creativity flowing, get some ideas flowing, allow you to just kind of meditate on everything to see what's going to be most important for you in this upcoming year. Okay. And then the next question that you want to ask yourself is, what habits are you going to need in order for you to actually fulfill this, right? So for everything that you're wanting to manifest, there's going to be some habits that are associated with that. And this can be one of the most challenging reasons why people quite often don't want to make those changes, because it does require you to take on some new habits. And that can be kind of challenging sometimes, but definitely take those into consideration, because that's going to help you determine, what it is that you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And then the last question, we kind of already went over this before, but what kind of support do you need? Are you in a place where you know that you're going to need, to lean on your family a little bit more? Are you going to need some kind of therapy? Are you going to need maybe a support group? Maybe just reading a book or taking a course is enough. Ask yourself what kind of support you're going to need, because, there are some things that we probably can do on our own. And then there are some areas where we know that we're going to need some extra attention, so be honest with yourself and ask yourself, am I willing to invest in getting some kind of support? It doesn't always have to be expensive. It just depends on what it is that you need. You could get together a group of men or women, to be kind of like your accountability partners. I mean, you can get really creative with it. It just depends on what it is that you are dealing with. But definitely ask yourself, what kind of support will you need? So, what is the perfect sacred self-care wellness plan for you? Just taking all those things into consideration, taking time to reflect. What do you think is going to be that perfect plan for you to keep you vibrant, to keep you healthy, to keep you excited, to keep you energized, and most importantly, to keep you confident, especially during this time with the pandemic and everything, going on around here? This is an area that nobody can afford to not actually take responsibility for. We all need some kind of plan, even if it's something really, really simple. We all need something, so definitely take your health seriously. It's not something to play around with, but you definitely can add some fun into this. You can add fun activities that you love, whether it's going out into nature, whether it's bike riding, whether it's deciding to invest in maybe some massage, therapy every month. Definitely don't be afraid to incorporate something fun into this, because you want your wellness to really energize you. You want it to keep you excited and to keep you vibrant. And so if you are ready to get started on your sacred self-care journey, check the links below and you'll be able to take my free sacred self-care quiz that will help you to see how well you've been taking care of yourself. You can also schedule a 90-minute self-care intensive with me, and you'll see the details below. So I'm excited for you in this new year of 2022, and I look forward to assisting you, supporting you, and guiding you on your journey.